I'm Sarah Bernard, and I'm here with Tracy Brazelton, who is the Executive Director of the American Heart Association. And we were just talking about the 7 tips for heart health for our population, and especially for women. There's an emphasis on women for the month of February.
That's right.
And wear red on February 1st and throughout the month. And what else can we do to get involved? What other events are going on in St. Louis?
Well, we have lots of exciting things happening in St. Louis. In addition to National Wear Red Day, there is an event, a ZUMBA event coming up, I believe, on February the 1st at the
Here it is right now on the screen. O'Fallon YMCA.
And then on February the 7th, Fresh 102.5 will be hosting a wine and chocolate event at the Plaza Frontenac, which is always a lot of fun, where not only are there some nice samplings of dark chocolate, which in moderation is a very nice thing, but also blood pressure screening and silent auctions, all to benefit the American Heart Association.
So February 1st and February 7th, 2 big events, and of course February 14th is Valentine's Day, so that's part of American Heart Month, whether you like it or not.
Right.
The more information at the website that was just on the screen, and we'll come back to that in a few minutes as well. So we talked about how to keep your heart healthy. What are some warning signs for women when there's something wrong they should be paying attention to?
Well, you know, the first best thing that you can do is have a proactive conversation with your doctor. You know, all of us should be visiting a primary care physician, but even if our only doctor's visit is to our OBGYN, you know, ask about your blood pressure, ask about your cardiovascular risk, and be aware of what your risk might be so that you can take steps to delay or prevent entering into that disease state. But the warning signs of a heart attack are much different for a woman than they are for a man. Men often report that big crushing pain in the middle of their chest, or you've heard this, felt like an elephant sitting on my chest. Women experience those symptoms in a much more subtle way. So women will, you know, complain of maybe an uncomfortable pressure that feels like indigestion, and it's often misdiagnosed as indigestion, pain radiating, especially down the left arm, jaw pain or pain between your shoulder blades, nausea, clamminess, or sweatiness can all be signs that you're having a heart attack, which is a medical emergency, and you should call 911.
Okay, so those are some great tips for us to pay attention to, the different feelings in our body that we might need to be getting a medical attention. We talked about staying healthy. What are some other, is there any other big thing that you want to make sure people know about heart health?
You know, I think the biggest thing people should know is that a lot of cardiovascular disease is preventable, and it's the decisions that we make for our children, you know, how we feed our children and whether or not they're physically active, or are they spending all of their time in front of the television and in front of the computer. And, you know, many of us are moms, so Wear Red and Women's Heart Health applies to us as the caregiver, as mothers, and decisions that we're making for our young children are impacting what their cardiovascular risk is going to be later in their lives. And you hear a lot about childhood obesity, and that this is the first generation in the history of our country that is at risk of living a shorter life span than their parents' generation because of childhood obesity, which is directly related to diet and exercise. So decisions that we make for our children and that we make for ourselves in our early years have a direct correlation to our risk for cardiovascular disease in our 30s and 40s. So prevention is the key.
So start prevention in the home as parents.
Absolutely.
Teach the kids how to they'll get it. Once we start it in the home, they'll be raised with that, and they'll have healthier lives as they become adults. But for adults who are obese, let's say, and they've got maybe genetic issues related to heart health, what do you tell them? What if they feel that their case is hopeless? Is it?
It's never hopeless. You know, a weight loss of as little as 10% can have a significant impact on hypertension or high blood pressure, which is a major risk factor for cardiovascular disease. So, you know, can we all get to ideal cardiovascular health? Maybe not, but can we improve our cardiovascular health by 10 or 20%? We believe that's an achievable goal. And in fact, our 2020 impact goal is improving the health of all Americans by at least 20% by the year 2020. And Wear Red Day and American Heart Month is just one of the ways that we think that we can achieve that goal.
Just bring attention to it and things
Right.
we can do right here in our own homes and just make a little difference, actually a big difference by making little changes in our lives.
That's right.
So great thing. Thank you so much, Tracy, for coming and talking to us all about American Heart Month and all the great things we can do. Again, on the screen, Friday, February 1st is National Wear Red Day, and you can find more information about this event and all the events that we've talked about at heart.org/St. Louis or wearredday.org, I believe it was.
Right.
Okay, and the big events, February 1st, ZUMBA, which is so much fun in O'Fallon at the YMCA, and February 7th, chocolate and wine. Can't beat that for heart health. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you. And coming up on STL TV Live, did you know just by organizing your life, you can become healthier and stress-free, and that'll help your heart as well. You'll find out some great home organization tips when we return.